Hello, this is Bunny Says, and welcome back to Cinderella Phenomenon. And the conclusion, I think, or actually, I don't know, but the point at which we're in the palace, held hostage by Sir Methros and Varg. When last we left off, Varg has kidnapped us from the clinic, and I went quietly. No, I don't know if that was the right choice or not, but I'm still regretting that, but maybe not. I think we would have ended up being here anyway. It just would have been us struggling. I don't know. God, that might have been such a bad choice. But we also found out a big revelation that our mother was still, somewhat alive. Our mother, Hilda, is I don't know how to put it, soul trapped inside the Tenebrum crystal, I guess. Or she placed her essence inside the crystal, and she was waiting. She had been apparently waiting for us to turn, Lucette, to turn 18 when she becomes the Tenebrum bearer, and she could release her. And Methros Varg had said that she needed her power. Now, I don't know if she just needs, if our mother needs just, to just have us release her, or that she's going to, suck energy out of us, or suck our witch hood or something out of us in order to use that power to escape from the crystal. So I don't know if that it will affect us in some way, or she just needs us to become the bearer so that we can release her. In either case, Lucette did decide that, I think rightfully, that she should not release her. So there was a question of whether or not, or I questioned, that she might, miss her. She might miss her mother, and I want to see her again. But she was thinking about escaping. She pulled out a box that she remembered that her mother had given her. She was going to open it when Varg showed up and grabbed her and dragged her down to dinner in the palace dining room. And we saw that the soldiers who were standing there were all puppets, what he called puppets, that they'd been spellcasted upon or something, so that they were being controlled, and that there were only a few of them left. But the ones that were there seemed to be all, under control of a spell. So, okay, well, let's. I want to continue this. I want to find out what's going on. I want to see what happens. So, this one's for me. I want to find out what goes on. I want to see if I made a bad choice or something. I don't know. I don't know if this is going to be a bad ending again. Okay, let's continue. We'll just go right into it. Thank you for being here, and thank you for listening. I hope you're enjoying this, and I hope you want to find out what happens too, just like me. So, this is Lucette thinking now, or narrating. Soon I find myself in the dining hall. The guards usually standing by the walls are gone. Now there is only the royal family, and they seem to be unharmed. No, it's King Gennaro. You. Oh, that's right. I totally forgot. None of them remember her. Rod can, but the rest can't. King Gennaro is looking confused. He remembers her from before, I think, but when she tried to say who she was, when she was a beggar in the streets, but okay. I can see recognition in the king's eyes. My heart flutters as he stands, or tries to. He manages to rise, but only just barely. I notice that his feet stay firmly planted where they are. Everyone's bodies look exceptionally stiff. Oh, they're all under spell. I think they're all being held by spell. Yeah, see, this is Lucette thinking, is this some kind of spell? King Gennaro, you're the girl that was outside my palace months ago. Mithros, what is the meaning of this? Yeah, see, he doesn't remember. I notice that the king is not at the head of the table as usual. Everyone sits on the table sides except for Mithros, who is at the far end. The king's seat, however, is clear. Mithros, I simply brought back the crown princess. You should be thanking me, Gennaro. I have reunited you with your daughter. My daughter? The king raises an eyebrow, clearly skeptical. I can see in his eyes that he is loath to trust anything Mithros has to say. The king slumps in his chair as Varg leads me to a seat, just beside Rod. I notice Emmeline sitting just at Rod's side. She forces a smile onto her face, but I can see tears gathering in her eyes. Mithros, allow me to offer a more formal introduction for our guest, even though you all know her. Her name is Lucette Riella-Breton, and she is the crown princess of Angel. And your blood daughter, Gennaro. The king looks at me again. This time, there is more uncertainty in his gaze. Mithros, Prince Rod will tell you, won't he? Rod? Here's Rod. And, of course, he has his little bunny on his side, on his shoulder. Rod is standing there looking, well, Rod looks at me, his gaze quiet, but expectant. I turn to the king and to the rest of my stepfamily. Now we have a choice here. I can say, it is nice to meet you, or I can say, I am indeed the crown princess. And I see no reason for her to not say it. Say that she's the crown princess, so... yeah. There's no reason to hide it anymore, so... This is my chance to prove to them that I am the princess. The king never believed me before, but here I can convince him. I am indeed the crown princess, Lucette Riella-Breton. I told you before, your majesty, but I was cursed, and you did not believe me. Now, no one remembers who I am. King Gennaro, I would remember my own daughter. I flinch. A pained look comes onto the king's face as he stares at me. Rod, he says nothing. Mithros is smiling slyly at the end of the table, looking pleased by the further confusion I have caused. Oh, bad choice. Lucette, is his purpose to only confuse everyone further? What kind of mind game is he playing? Mithros, Gennaro, she is undoubtedly your daughter. That is why she is in the room that you have been taking care of. What? The king's eyes widen. He looks at a loss for words. Princess, the king has been keeping your room clean and tidy for the sake of nostalgia. He has no idea why. Oh, that's sort of cold. He had him, even though he knew he forgot, he was making him take care of a room. That's sort of... Okay, Mithros. Magic works in interesting ways, doesn't it? I was wondering why my room was unchanged. Yeah, I remember that. But could it be that the king remembers me somehow? I look up at him, but he has already glanced away from me, his expression a complicated twist of confusion and helplessness. Lucette, it seems that even the king does not fully understand. I turn to Mithros. It can work in both good and bad ways. Now yes, the fairy tale curse is terrible, isn't it? I catch Vrog's eyes from the side of the room. He glances away from me, and I follow his gaze to the corners of the room. I hadn't noticed them before, but now I see cloaked figures hiding in the shadows. Really? Witches. They must be the ones holding everyone in place if they try to escape. But not all magic is terrible. This is Mithros speaking. Like the magic we will use to revive the queen. King Gennaro. You're insane. Hilda is mad. Mithros. You have no right to refer to her by name. A sudden chill envelops the room. I can feel actual icicles on the table. I pull my hands away. Now, we are going to eat dinner, and we are going to enjoy it. And every day will be just like this until the queen returns. Rod glares across the table at Mithros. Why? Why would we not enjoy dinners together? Rod, that's not what I meant. Why go through this charade day after day? I stare across the table at Mithros, glaring. I already told you before, I had to clear this place of traitors. Alcasta planned on stealing the crown, and I stole it back. But because the time of the Queen's revival is so close, I have decided to keep the crown with me until I can return it to its appropriate owner. King Gennaro. Hilda is... Oh, he's going to flip out Mithros. Queen Hilda is the true owner of the crown. I thought it best that we all wait out her arrival together. But know this, when my queen demands it, I will kill all of you. I simply refuse to act without her orders. Okay. This time, guards come into the room with food. They set it before us, and we are forced to eat beneath Mithros' watchful gaze. Though I try to spot an opening in the dining hall, I can find no way out. This really is a prison. 2 days pass. I have been searching for ways out and trying to ease more answers out of Varg and Mithros. God, 2 days already went by. Neither of them is very forthcoming. Both enjoy speaking in riddles. Varg especially is an enigma. Whenever I try to ask him about Fritz, he smirks at me and remains silent. Oh wow! You know what? Is the whole week going to go by? Are we going to actually see her mother? Well, okay. We're back in Lucette's old palace room here, her pink room with the all the dolls and stuff. Oh, what about the box? I wonder if she ever... Okay. Varga's here. What? Not going to try asking me any questions tonight? I am not going to get any answers from Varg. And it is almost my birthday. I need to find a way out of here. Varg, I'm disappointed. You're the only fun I have in here, Princess. Maybe if I am quiet, he will leave me alone. If you're just going to be quiet and sulk, I guess I should be going. Remember, don't try anything funny. There are knights just outside your door. Oh well. Varg bows mockingly. He leans down to pat me on the head before he turns and leaves. Yeah, get out. I cannot give up. She needs to... Well, isn't there a window? Can't she... Well, she'd be way up. How could she get out? Well, maybe if she made her bed clothes into a... Did a... climb down? I don't know. No, that's... Those drapes on that bed don't look long enough for anything. So, even if she tied them up. I once again begin my search through the room. Time is running out, and there is nothing that I can do besides search for a way out. But I know that if I leave the room, the knights will catch me immediately. If I had a weapon, I might stand a chance. Oh, hell no, she wouldn't. What are you talking about? I put my fingers to my neck and remember what... Oh, that's right, they are sort of, they're sort of like zombified. They're staring blankly most of the time, so maybe she could sneak up on them real quickly. I put my fingers to my neck and remember what Chevalier told me about it. If she could, sneak up and, slit their throats maybe or something, that would be horrible, but... Okay, what? Oh. There's a woman speaking. It says woman. Sleep. Oh. The sound comes from outside my door. It is a woman's voice. The door opens and suddenly Chevalier, Delora, and Delora are both in my room. Oh, I thought that was her falling in the ground. I thought that was Lucette falling asleep. It was the guards. Oh, okay. Ah, Chevalier. Princess. It's Chevalier and Delora. Okay, they're in my room. Good, finally. I'm startled to see Chevalier standing before me, his eyebrows drawn over his eyes with great worry. And beside him stands Delora, with her arms crossed. Well, aren't you a sight for sore eyes? We're here to stage a daring rescue. I rush to Chevalier and wrap my arms around him. He puts a hand on the small of my back and smiles down at me. We're going to get you out of here, Princess. How did you both get in here? With the power of magic. Delora, dramatic, even at times like this. Even at a time like this. The two exchange a look before looking at me seriously. Parfait, Waltz, the Knights, and Karma are all here. We thought we'd just be fighting witches, though. We weren't expecting the Knights. Chevalier, no matter what we said, we couldn't get through to them. They're under a spell. Delora, Mithros. He wants to release Mother. Both of them look at me with confusion. What? Mother is still alive, just inside the tandem room. Mithros wants to bring her back. That is impossible. That's Delora speaking. Chevalier, the Queen is still alive? Chevalier looks worried while Delora's expression is more rigid and resolute. Delora, we cannot let that happen. I don't know how the Queen would be alive in the first place, but... Well, we'll worry about that later. Right. We have time later to discuss the specifics of everything, but right now we need to get out of here. Right. Everyone is keeping the gods and witches busy for you, Princess. I'll distract Mithros. Delora. Chevalier, I'm counting on you to get the princess to safety. That's why I'm here. Princess, can you guide me through the palace? Lucette, I cannot just leave everyone here. Don't worry. Galan is seeing to saving your family. No, I cannot just leave everyone in the Marchen here to do things for me. Lucette, we cannot afford to lose you. I told you I would do anything to protect you, and I will. The sooner you're safe, the sooner we'll have the advantage. That's true, actually. Delora, you are the legitimate heir to the throne and the next Tannenbaum bearer. You cannot let yourself remain in Mithras' hands. Excuse me. Chevalier, the situation is indeed most dire. Excuse me. So for now, we must hurry. I nod my head feebly. Without another word, the three of us head toward the door. Delora exits first, and stops immediately. I almost run into her. I glance through the doorway and see Varg waiting just outside, holding a blade across Delora's neck. No. Delora holds up her hand and deflects the sword as it slides harmlessly past her neck. Varg slides away, still holding out his sword. His usual smirk is half-hearted at best. Delora, get out of our way. Get out of our way. Varg, you're awfully demanding, aren't you? Pretty please? No can do, my lady. Shame. Looks like I'll have to destroy that pretty mask of yours, along with everything else underneath. Delora holds up her hand and summons a wall of electric orbs. With a flick of her wrist, she sends him rushing toward Varg, who dodges with surprising speed. Oh well. Varg's movements appear sluggish, but I have seen his fast reflexes. He's playing with Delora, even though I do not think he has the advantage. He drops the sword, and for a few moments, I feel Delora has the advantage. Then suddenly he raises the cane he usually holds at his side and taps it on the ground. Uh-oh. Well. A burst of smoke escapes from the bottom of it, shrouding the room. An enchanted cane? You're not the only one with tricks up your sleeve. Delora. Chevalier, get her out of here. Let's go, princess. Chevalier takes my hand in his and begins to lead me away. I turn to glance back at Delora and Varg and realize that while Delora is completely on the offensive, Varg does nothing but dodge. It is as if he is trying to buy time for something. I banish the thought from my head as Chevalier pulls me down the hall. There's Karma. How rude. Haven't you heard of chivalry? Knight A just says nothing. I spot Karma, still in his dress, holding a sword out at the man in front of him. When the man lunges, Karma dodges back and grunts as his back comes to the wall. Wait, couldn't... Oh, he is... Okay. Oh, okay, yeah. They're all spelled up, so the gods aren't going to react to her him in a dress, so that's what I was just thinking. Karma. I suppose chivalry is dead then. He steps off to the side as the possessed knight attacks him with his blade. The sword catches his dress, but it does not hinder him from stepping forward and aiming a jab with his sword beneath the knight's armor. The knight keels, but the sword does not fall from his hand. Karma looks up at us sharply. "What are you doing just standing there? Move." It takes me a moment to realize that just as I was frozen, so too was Chevalier. His face is pale as he grabs my hand again, and once again starts rushing me down the other end of the hall. Chevalier's steps are wider than mine, and I have to struggle to keep up. But the further we go down the hallway, the more apparent it becomes that there are too many obstacles in the way. It's Jurian and Garland. We pass Jurian and Garland as we move too, and they manage to clear a path for us. These knights, will they not stop moving until Mithros is defeated? I hope the king and everyone else is safe. I was just thinking that too. I guess they're almost like zombies, the knights, and they'll keep fighting even if they're almost dead. As we pass Jurian and Garland, I tell them where the royal family is, but they have no way of knowing if the words reach their ears amidst all of the sound. Chevalier? So the stab wounds in the armor that I saw earlier were from the knights themselves. But why would they battle each other? What? The punctures in the armor that we saw at the clinic, the stab wounds in the gut, and at the arms. Chevalier's eyes are so distant. It is as if he is looking right through me. We need to keep moving. I take his hand and lead him forward. I do not know what he is talking about, but we can talk about this later. Right now, we have to escape. We are closer to the palace entrance when we see them. A group of knights stand in two lines on both sides of the hall, facing each other. Wait, what was he talking about? Does that mean they... I don't know. Okay, well... At the far end of the hallway stands a gaggle of witches, and in between them, Mithros. Oh, God. Him. Mithros. Good evening. Did you enjoy your stroll around the palace? Chevalier immediately moves to stand in front of me. The cloudiness is gone from his eyes. But what leaves his mouth is not a demand, but a question. How could you do this? How? It was quite easy, actually. You know what I mean. Why would you make the knights fight one another? What a foolish question. Obviously, it is because they are inconsequential. Oh, that's what he meant. Oh. He was actually making the knights just sit there and fight each other like puppets, I guess. Just for his own amusement. Mithros. On a stage, some pawns exist as easily replaceable extras. I am interested in keeping only the actors. Oh, he probably made them kill them. Oh, he's probably making them just fight each other just to get rid of them. You know, until they're so hurt, they're just dying, and then he just throws them out. And that's why they're all in the clinic, all cut up and dead and stuff. In the grand scheme of things, the extras aren't needed. In fact, I can make them do whatever I need in order to get the best outcome. He snaps his fingers, and the knights raise their swords. I tense, thinking that the knights are going to turn to us, but they never do. Here is an interlude for you to enjoy. The knights are attacking each other? Yeah, he did. The guy just made them... I thought he was just making them fight each other just for his own amusement. The sound of metal ringing against metal fills the air. Oh, just to get rid of them anyway. The knight's swords arch, dive and stab. Arc, dive and stab. Mithros watches from behind them, the sly smile never leaving his lips. The two of us can only stand there, stunned into silence. It isn't long before we can see red. Yeah, I'm not surprised. The smell of blood begins to linger in the air as swords cut through flesh. Abruptly, I snap to my senses. I attempt to move forward, but Xavier remains firmly grounded. Yeah, he wouldn't be able to stand this. Xavier! He's not, yeah. I heard many things about the doctor working at the clinics. I heard that he was a volunteer who had assisted in helping the injured during the Great War. I also heard that, until just recently, he had been cursed. I knew immediately upon seeing you that you were that volunteer. I suppose it is unavoidable that you and the princess know each other, but to think you would be so close. Xavier just stares blankly ahead. He looks almost like he is under a spell. His eyes are glazed. I continue to call his name. His eyes follow the sword movements of the knights, and he does not even spare me a glance. Mithros, have I unraveled the doctor? What's going on? Oh God. Chapter 10. Unraveled. Xavier, snap out of it. Oh God, you know what? Oh, I was so into it. Sorry, but I guess we'll stop at chapter 10 then. This is going on 30 minutes, but past 30 minutes. But I'm gonna keep going, and we'll get to the next episode right after this, and we'll be right back. So let's just stop here for a moment, take a break, and I'll be right back.